Okay, so continuing from our previous interview. So let's say now a being has gone through many such now abusive relationships, in the search of looking for love, because their previous relationships were all based on trying to fix and mend the previous relationship, because they believe that there's something wrong with them, and that whole self-pity, self-blame situation. So why does marriage exist then? Marriage, because why? Then I'm tied to this person, I own this person, we're together, society, look at this. So by the marriage invested in me, we will remain together. And this is like the most definite, sealed thing. It's done, sealed. It's like an unwritten, unspoken law that exists within people that are married, saying, you won't fuck with me and I don't fuck with you, type thing. You won't leave me, I won't leave you, type thing. We're getting married. We're sealing this thing. Because I've had enough fuck up of relationships in the past that I've, gone into a relationship, and then it's all like airy-fairy stuff, and then it breaks up, and then I'm left broken, and I don't want to go through that again. So let's marry. Because what does marriage say? Marriage say, we're in this, for a lifetime. But now, I'm saying this, it's all unwritten, unspoken things. This is actually what human beings are really doing when they're getting married. So, now you have two beings getting married. Now, both of them, of course, have probably had fucked up relationships. I'm saying it's fucked up because relationships in its totality is pretty much fucked up. If you really honestly go and look at this whole situation and what beings experience in relationships as defined by this world and society and systems, it's really not cool. So that's why we're talking about it today, because this is the most important point to sort out in this world. Because what is it that is actually generating and charging and powering this world and have human beings become in the situations which they experience themselves? Sex and relationships. Have a look. It's fascinating. Okay, so let me continue. So now you have two beings getting married. Now you have to survive in this world, of course. And that's where you have a job and you make your money, and you have to have children. Why government support families and having children, etc. like that? Because when parents have children, the government makes money. Fascinating. So now you have everyone having children in and of the world. So that's why they support population growth to a certain extent, to make money, to think and perceive themselves to make money, and then obviously there'll come a time where they'll break down everything again and say, blame it on, the stock markets, that there's apparently not money when there was never money, and then people die of hunger and starvation while the elite doesn't give a shit, and then they build up society again from that perspective, and so they play with the world. They've always done that. So, back to relationship again. Now we have two beings starting a family, and it's kind of like the lovey-dovey experience in the beginning, etc., and excited, having your own home, apartment, your own job, free, independent, etc. And here comes the child. Okay, now the children starts growing up. Now comes an entirely different scenario, because it's like somewhere in the middle of the marriage, the two beings start realizing, but what am I actually doing here? Type thing. Why did I start a family? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I experiencing what I'm experiencing? Then comes the feeling so limited and not feeling free anymore, and the love experience is now gone and missing, and everything just became so normal. Like, everything is just gone. And then, sleeping in bed, just waking up saying, hi, good morning, honey. Waking up, making the coffee, making the breakfast for the children, taking the children to school, and everything just seems so ordinary. The same thing happening day in and day out. And before you open your eyes, it's like, okay, I have these children, I'm unhappy, my husband doesn't love me anymore, my wife doesn't love me anymore, and this whole scenario, and this happens only in like one day. Either the male or female start waking up going, what's going on here? And that moment actually built up from the moment since they've got married. Because remember, what I said, energy can only last for so long. That love only lasts for so long because mind consciousness system's energy depletes. And so the male and the female find themselves in a difficult situation in a whole marriage scenario with the children. Because now they realize, but I've given up my life, type of thing, and I don't have my own life anymore because all the focus is on who? The children now. So now it comes an interesting point because, the male and female starts realizing, but what about me, type of thing, I've never given attention to me ever before. I've always been looking for relationships and things like that to fulfill me. Now I've got children, my attention is on my children, and I realize that I've never given attention or love to me. I've never allowed me to experience me. I've always been chasing, and now I'm taken care of. So now the parents in the relationship start having arguments. Now apparently having arguments and conflict in a relationship with marriage is normal. It is okay. It is what happens. Really? No. What is this conflict that starts rising within marriage situations, especially when they have children? It is because of the inner conflict that exists in both the male and the female in this entire marriage family scenario setup. Where does those inner conflicts come from? From the past. In past relationships, still from the past. Remember, if you haven't stood in your past relationships, actually forgiven it, or walked through it in terms of transcending yourself, you're still very much in them. So now you've got all those past relationships still moving here within you because of the mind consciousness system placements. Remember, as you go through relationships that break up, those relationships still remain within you. You're just chasing after another one to mend the previous ones the whole time. Endless cycles. So now there's conflict within the male or the female, both partners, because they're realizing that this whole family setup ain't going to fix what they're experiencing inside them. They present themselves to the people of the world, oh look, we're a family, but inside there's really shit that goes on, much conflict, because everything is just dead. There's no life, there's no experience, there's no happiness, responsibility with the children, responsibility with the job, trying to survive, buying clothes, buying food, money worries, children worries, future children worries. Don't have money to put into account to save for the children's education. The banks won't help me, etc. There's much situations in marriage scenarios, much problems. So, and then that's basically where the conflict within the male or the female in the marriage scenario come from, because of themselves. Okay, I'm going to continue my next interview where I'll describe how this whole conflicting within the mother and father in the family scenario gets projected onto everyone else. Thank you very much.